Hey guys, so today I thought we'd try something different. I know that Paddington works in the kitchen a lot and normally he makes a huge mess. So today we're not going to make a huge mess like Paddington, but I thought we'd make something fun. And Troy has been wanting to do pizza for a long time. So guess what? I have a pizza recipe for you. So I got this off of Ken Ham's videos, and he has been doing a lot of kids videos. If you want to see his videos, they're a lot of fun. He is the owner of the Ark and the Creation Museum in Kentucky, and he's been going around videotaping his animals at the Ark since it's closed down. And he also has been going out to some of the cafes and getting some video of things that you can make while you're at home. So this one is called pizza dough in a bag. All right, so your supplies that you need, make sure you have them all right up front. It'll be easier if you do this video if you have your supplies. The gallon bag, flour, baking powder, salt, pizza sauce that I almost dropped sauce, plus your measuring. You need a cup, 1/4 of a cup, liquid measuring, teaspoon and tablespoon. Teaspoon smaller, tablespoon is bigger. Your pizza pan. All right, if you don't have the flour and you have a pizza crust mix, that's fine, you can use that instead. If you can find flour in the grocery store, we went looking today and we looked at several grocery stores before we found it. If you don't have those but you still want to do this, a taco shell will work just great. Just use the taco shell as your pizza dough. All right, as all great cooks know, the first thing you do is wash your hands before you start to get into your ingredients. And because it's recommended we wash it with warm water and soap for about 20 seconds. So we're gonna go over here to the sink. We're gonna squirt the soap in our hands. We're gonna turn on the hot water and we're gonna wash. And I think we can sing the ABC song, and that will be 20 seconds. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? All right, so my hands are nice and clean. And I'm ready to put my ingredients in the bag. First, and make sure your mom is helping you do this part or your dad. Preheat your oven to 425. So I'm gonna walk over to my oven and turn it on to 425. All right, and you can't use the oven unless you ask your mom and dad, and they should be there to help you. All right, so first thing we're gonna do in our gallon Ziploc bag, and make sure you have your recipe, and I'll upload that to this file as well, but make sure you have that so you know what you're doing. All right, you need 2 1/4 cup of flour. So I have my cup measuring, and I'm gonna put 1 in, smooth that across the top, into the bag, and 2, into the bag, and then 1/4 of a cup, which is the smaller one, into the bag. Be quite the pizza dough, I think. All right, we'll put that off to the side. Then we're gonna do 1 tablespoon. Tablespoon is the bigger spoon. So the tablespoon of baking powder. So 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Make sure I can get it in there. Smooth it off. All right, right into the bag it goes. And then we need a teaspoon, which is your smaller spoon, of salt. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. All right, there's your teaspoon of salt. All right, this is really quite an easy recipe. And then we need 1 cup of milk. So let me grab the milk. I have a cup here. All right, 1 cup of milk. All right, and add that into your bag. That is all the ingredients. So now you're gonna close that Ziploc bag up tight because you don't want it to fly out at you. That'd be a mess. All right, and then it says shake and mix. So it makes like a dough. It's gonna look doughy when you get done with it. So you're gonna shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Up and down. Need a good shake song here. So you just keep shaking it, shaking it, shaking it. And you can push it with your hands too to help get it all. And you'll see that it's looking very doughy. And so you want to mix it and shake it well. Get all the salt and baking powder mixed into the dough. And it's going to start to thicken up. Reminds me of Play-Doh. All right, so you want to keep working the bag so it looks like you have all of the flour mixed into the substance. It's going to be a big chunk of Play-Doh or soft clay that we work with. It's pretty cool. This might be an easy way for Emily to make pizza at school. It's a pretty easy recipe. All right, looks like my dough is pretty good. See, that didn't take very long at all. So what you're gonna do now is take some flour that you had, and I would take my cup just to be healthy and safe. And we're gonna put flour on my counter here, right on the counter. So make sure your counter's clean before we start. Okay, so we're putting the flour on the counter, and then I'm gonna empty my bag right into that flour. And that's gonna help us to form the dough ball that it doesn't stick to our hands. All right, so I got it out of my bag. My bag is clean and empty. I'm gonna take that dough ball and just kind of roll it in the flour for a little bit, just so the stickiness goes away, and then I can work with it and make it into the pizza. All right, so it's all floured, and when I touch it, it's not sticky. It's not sticking to my hands. So see that? It looks like a big lump of clay. Now, if you have a rolling pin, use a rolling pin. I don't happen to have a rolling pin at this house. I do at my river house, but not here at the parsonage. So what I'm gonna do is take this can and use it as my rolling pin. And I'm gonna roll the dough out till it makes like a good sized pizza, not too thick, unless you like really thick pizza. But the recipe said about 1/4 of an inch thick. So if you had a ruler, you could measure it 1/4 of an inch. And pizzas are normally round, so you kind of want to keep it in that round shape. And you roll it until it looks about 1/4 of an inch thick. Roll it out a little bit more. It's looking pretty good. It's not perfectly round, that's okay. Do the best that you can. This is actually a pretty easy recipe. Might have to add this to my regular class of doing things. I wonder if we could heat it in the microwave. Since we made our pancakes in the microwave the other week, that would be an experiment to try. Okay. So once you get it rolled out to about 1/4 of an inch thick, it's gonna look something like this. Okay. Might push a little bit more here and see if I can make it a little bigger. All right, then if you have your pizza pan, you can take your pan spray and spray it lightly. Keeps it from sticking. All right. It's a pretty cool pizza. All right, put that on your pan. So then next you need pizza sauce. So I'm gonna take my pizza sauce and my spoon, dip some of my sauce out to cover the bottom of the pizza. And if you're not big on pizza sauce, there's a ranch dressing that you can add to it too, and then it has more of a weight. It's called a weight pizza, and that's pretty good too. I haven't tried mayonnaise, but I hear you can do mayonnaise. But I think I would mix it with something, not just have plain mayonnaise. All right. I like mine to be saucy. Plus I like pizza sauce, red pizza sauce. All right. And I'm gonna double up my edges a little bit so it looks like a pizza crust. That's actually my favorite part of the pizza, is the crust. All right. And I'll show you what mine looks like. Oh, now it's looking like a pizza. A little bit more sauce on it. All right, so this is what mine looks like so far. Okay, see how that's looking like a pizza? Whew, that was simple, pizza in a bag. I'll have to remember that. It's a good recipe to hold on to. All right, and then cheese, the important part. I would recommend you get shredded mozzarella cheese, but the store that I went to find the flour did not have shredded. They had this chunk, and I don't have a shredder. So what I'm gonna do is make like circle-y pieces and put on my pizza. So let me cut off some here. So if you had shredded cheese, you could just shred it all over. Well, maybe I won't do circles. That might be a little difficult. So what I'm gonna do is shred it with my hand though, and put it on. But like I said, if you buy shredded cheese, you just kind of have to spread it over as much cheese as you like. All right, and mine is gonna be a cheese pizza. If you have pepperonis, or if you bought pepperonis, you may add those to it as well. You could add, I have bacon. I'm actually going to add some bacon bits to mine. Hamburger works. Stuff like that. Anything that you like on your pizza. Pineapples. You could add some pineapples to it. Whatever you like to top your pizza with. And notice, Paddington should have tried this kind of pizza recipe because he could have kept it in the bag and not had such a huge mess. But I can imagine that he had a lot of messes anyway, just because Paddington can't help but make a mess. All right, so I'll add a little bit more. And then I also have cheddar cheese that I'm gonna add because I like cheese and I like different kinds of cheese. So we could call it like a 3-cheese pizza. You could also add Parmesan, and that would help with the 3 cheese. Or you could just stick to the mozzarella cheese. So I put mine on kind of like crisscross. And then let me grab my cheddar here. All right, so the cheddar is shredded because we eat lots of tacos at my house. So the shredded cheese, you just kind of have to throw it on easy. Makes it an easier pizza. All right. And then the bacon bits that I have here, I'm gonna just add them to give it a little meat since I don't have pepperonis. But actually I'm more of a fan of bacon than pepperonis. All right. So when you think your pizza is finished, then it's ready for the oven. If your oven has finished preheating. And it says to bake it for 10 to 12 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick it in my oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And if you're making the pizza, go ahead and do that. And then I'm gonna stop the video, and what I want you to do is when you're finished making your pizza and it comes out, take a picture of it with you and post that in the assignment submission section right under the assignment. Oh, there's my beeping, meaning my oven is ready. All right, so pop it in the oven. When it's all finished, take a picture before you eat it all up and submit that in the button for me. Like I said, if you don't have the stuff to make the pizza shell, you can always just use taco shells. But I'll make sure I post the list up before you do it, and then you can run out to the store, or your parents can run out to the store and grab the things you need. All right. And so there we go. I was trying to think if I wanted you to do anything else. I think if you just take a picture and submit that for me, that would be good. All right, and the next time we will have another story from Paddington Bear. All right, enjoy your pizza.